Hello folks, welcome to another One Fan Too Many Topics videocast, and I want to be talking to you tonight about the topic of anon exposure Twitter pages. Right, and right away is the rule is if you have a Twitter page, you never mention anything intimate upon it, and you do not DM anything intimate towards anybody because Twitter handles are just basically aliases. You don't know if you're tweeting your friend or tweeting some random twat in ISIS out in Turkey, or you're tweeting fucking Dominic Raab or whatever the fuck it is, right? You don't tweet anything of particular intimacy, right? But these anonymous exposure pages, they almost lure survivors of sexual assault and rape to DM, that's direct message the page what happened to them, who it was caused by, and the page would expose the guy for what had happened. Right, that is a very dangerous model indeed right away. And you know what's even more dangerous? The page's admin does not even have the respect to just kind of get the message, get a general narrative, keep out the names, keep out the sex acts, keep the horrible, rancid mental imagery of what had happened to some poor soul. But what happens is the message goes in to the Twitter page via DM, right, and the person being the admin, they just home button and lock screenshot, right, and they put a screenshot up, and it has names, it has descriptions of sexual acts and sexual mistreatment. There have been people that contact the page are paedophiles, and put it that way, there was the graphic descriptions put even in that context. But yeah, I would say that would be so wrong in so many levels, because one, that is giving the survivor a full exposure themselves and whoever did the alleged rape. And there's probably going to be a case or two of these anonymous exposures, and some person does get wrongly accused. Won't be long for that. But as I said, these pages haven't been exact very long, only 24 hours. And I do know of 10 different of these anon exposure, expose air, and then like anon exposure 1 right away through to 9. The exposure pages I do know are anon exposure 1, 2, 3, 7, 8 and 6. So clearly there's a fair amount out there, and it's always same language, and it's always same Twitter handle apart from the number being changed to 1 to and the admins clearly know that the police are having a sniff over these Twitter pages, because they've even made tweets referring to the police, and also been dug up by Twitter admins. Usually Twitter admins don't give a fuck, so for them to be actually sniffing around now goes to show there's clearly a Twitter terms of use infractions going on here. But yeah, the page basically acts as a exposure mechanism, and anybody who has been recipient of that horribleness clearly would not want names and sex acts being broadcast to the public. I mean, anyone that knows how Twitter operates, tweets are public. so anybody can witness them, anybody can see them, anyone could read them. So it's really dangerous territory, as I say. So yeah, and at this point in the video, I've explained everything. So I'll give you maybe about 10 seconds. I'll show you some of these examples, but in this case, I'm going to be taking out names and I'm going to be taking out descriptions. So about 10 or so seconds. Right, okay. So you get a general gist of what's going on, but I want to get to core and crux of this part of the video, because this is the most important part in my opinion. Right, if anybody believes they could have been recipient of sexual mistreatment, sexual assault, or rape, best thing to do is call for the experts. It doesn't matter if you phone NHS 24 first or Police Scotland, because the result will be exactly the same. The experts will come to your house, they will take a statement of what had happened. Most likely the police would be there first, but 101 is a non-emergency number for Police Scotland, but if there is a threat to life, obviously 999. But if you phoned 111 first, which is NHS 24, they'll quite quickly get you linked to somewhere like sexual health emergency referral centre called Archway, which is nearer town. That's if you're in Glasgow. But and that's where they'll start doing things like DNA testing. They'll take your clothes. They'll make sure you've not got any STDs, and start getting you linked into some crisis centres that can help with the kind of post-trauma of sexual assault, sexual neglect, or rape, or paedophilia. And if you phone 101 first, the police would be with you very quickly. It won't be a surprise if you have to go into their car for them to take you down to, as I said, Archway, or if Archway's too busy, testing can be done at, let's say, your local hospital. Yeah, always contact an expert first, and please, for the love of yourself, do not go near these anon-exposure pages. They mean to be good, but there's so much wrong with it at the minute. Stay away from these pages. If anything, contact a friend that you can really trust, and they can help you through maybe first day, especially with the trauma. It's always better to have someone you can trust with it. But please stay away from these anon-exposure pages, because it quite genuinely exposes the pants out of everything. Exposes your name, exposes the person's name, and it exposes what acts and actions happened. And to be honest, that is not appropriate, especially if you're scrolling through Twitter and then you see that, and then poof, it's horrible, absolutely horrible. Just remember, general summary: experts first, ditch anon exposure, go for your friends, as in go and seek your friends out and trust them with what had happened. Find the most trustworthy friend and lay it bare. And that's all I have to say.